Hello and welcome to the third tutorial. I want to show you today how to operate with data in Java. And what I mean with data are numbers or text. And how to do this. In Java you need variables. So we need a new class, variables, and you see here the old example from the last tutorial, Hello World. We can close it now. And we have to create a new class. So click here on right-click New Class, and we have to give a name to it, and we call it Variables. Okay, finish. And now you see here a new source code file is created. And remember the last tutorial, we have to create a starting point too. So we just type main and then use control space, the autocomplete function in Java, in Oracle. And okay, so now we have a starting point. If we want to work with variables, we have to tell Java two things. In the first place, which data have to be handled, and so are this numbers, for example, and then what type of numbers are this? So maybe rational numbers or integers. And so also we need a name for the variable. So in the first place we make the so-called declaration. We want to tell Java our variable is this type. So we first type in the type of the variable. So here int for integer, and then the name. I call this here my variable or meine Variable. Every operation in Java has to be ended with a semicolon. So here it's an operation. It's a declaration. It's an operation in Java. So I have to end it with a semicolon. So now we have a variable, but this variable is until now it's empty. Java recognizes it as now as a variable, but it doesn't know which value has it. So it's empty. It's a void. So I type in here my variable, and then I say what is in this variable. I type in the equal sign, and then I just click here number 5. It's an operation, so don't forget, use the semicolon. I will use some comments here. So here in the first place, declaration, and in the next line here, the initializing, so-called initializing. These two steps can be fused to one step, so we don't need the declaration, an extra line. I just can type int my variable and then equals 5, semicolon. These are both steps fused to one step. So now we can use the output in the shell. So we use sudo systemout and then type in my variable, click on run, wait a second, and now look down in the console in the shell, you see 5, what we typed in earlier. We always can change the value of the variable. So I just can click here my variable equals 10, and then also make an output in the shell from this, click on run, and you see in the first place we have 5, then we change the value to 10, and so we see 5 and 10 in the next line. We can also do a recursive operation. This is quite important for programming, for example in loops. So I type here my variable equals my variable plus 1, and create an output command here, click on run, and you see here we have 5, 10 like in the last step, and then my variable plus 1, so 10 plus 1, and this is of course 11. So we have here 5, 10 and 11 in the shell as an output. Okay, we delete some lines because it gets too much. Okay, so now we have one variable. And I want to show you now that we can also operate some calculations in Java. So I create a second variable and I call this, okay, my variable 2. And this one equals 10. Small comment, it's a declaration and initializing in one step again. Okay, I want to show you how to operate, to calculate with it. I type here the system out, and then in the brackets I type my variable plus my variable 2. So if we click on run, you see here 15, because of course 5 and 10 equals 15. Of course, when you calculate some values in the practical manner, you do not always have integer values. So you have, for example, rational numbers, and if you want to work with it, you need the type float, or what I will use here, double. That is more precise, but takes some more space in the RAM memory. So I type here in double and type double x. This equals 3.5. Don't forget the semicolon. I can show you that it works. We can make a small test. Type x in it, and you see here in the shell, you see the output of the number 3.5. I want to show you the again the difference between int and double, so between these two types. I can show you what happens if we mistakenly say my variable is x. So if don't forget, my variable was an integer and x is a float, it's a double. So you see we have an error in the workspace and also then later error in the shell. So it doesn't recognize it, and of course this doesn't work. It's no integer, but the other way around, this works. Why? Okay, don't remember your math lessons. Integer numbers are elements of the rational numbers. So this works. You see here 5 decimal O as an output in the shell, and okay, so this works the other way around. You can also use double. And you also can do calculations, of course, with the double values, with double variables. So I just type here in double y equals 4.9, and in the output I multiply these two numbers, x multiplied by y, and in the console, in the shell, you see here the result. It's about 17.5000 and so on. Okay, this is in the first place everything for the data operations with numbers in Java. In the next step, I want to show you how to operate with text. Remember the last, or our first example, we used the hello world, and we can save text in Java as a string, and this is also the buzzword. We need the operation or the type string. So I just type here string. And I call this variable hello. And you see the string variable hello equals this one. This is an operation, so don't forget the semicolon. And of course we can make an output in the shell. So just have to type the variable hello, and if I click on run, you see here hello world. You can also do some operations like, adding, for example, of text variables. So I can make here a new variable called string world, and I will call this here world, and then in the first place I will delete, in the first variable I will delete world. So we have two variables, one contains the word hello and the second one contains world, and hello plus world here in the system out command, and if we click on run, we have here hello world as a result. Okay, this is everything for this tutorial. I showed you how to use variables in Java, how to work with some simple data, what types are, for example, in Java, how to declarate a variable, how to initialize a variable. So thank you for watching, and see you in the next tutorial.